Well, Hoosier Hysteria has given everybody, the team, and I think the students too, a lot of, great opportunity to start the year off with so much energy and just electricity in the assembly hall. And it gives us all an opportunity to see and get a taste of what assembly hall is really like, especially during the season. And so, it being a couple weeks away from us tipping it off, it gives everybody and the students a chance too to see the team and feel the energy of the team and of the season. So it's super exciting for me because I know it's going to be a big time event, and so it's going to be a blast.
First question, Jeff Rabjohns.
Hey, Miller. First of all, thanks for your time. We always appreciate it. I'm working on a story about Trace. He got named preseason player of the year, Big Ten today. Here's what I'm trying to get from you guys who know him well. Give me your favorite practice story about Trace. Like, if you were telling people one practice story that kind of like encapsulated who Trace is, or was a good example of what Trace is all about, what's your best story of him in practice?
All right, I'm going to think about this. Give me a second. Okay. There's one that kind of comes to mind, and I don't really have all the specifics because it was a while ago, and I don't remember every practice we have because
Sure.
I've been through a lot. But I will say I remember a moment where our practice, I think it was later in the season last year, going through a stretch of tough games, some road games, and you're traveling a lot. You're practicing is tough just because you're battling out so many games, and there's still a lot ahead, but you still played so much, so your body and your mind are feeling it. But I remember, I think we had an earlier morning practice after a game, and everybody's bodies are feeling it. And Trace, for some reason, in one of our like drills we do every day, or we, part of our warm up, he for some reason every time, when he was near the rim, instead of just laying it up, he would dunk the ball, and would not just dunk the ball, but dunk it like it was his first time ever dunking. And I say that meaning the fact that it was like he was dunking it and his head was at the rim, and he would turn it, he would do a spin and part of the warm up, and he would windmill it, and then he'd windmill it again, and then he'd dunk it as hard as I've ever seen. Like, he was trying to break the rim. And I don't know why he was doing it. Maybe he was feeling extra athletic that day, but I think it was just kind of to show, without maybe saying it, that no one else, there's no excuse to kind of feel tired right now or sorry for ourselves about the fact that we played 3 games in 7 days, and we have 3 more in the next 8, or whatever it may be. I think I remember vividly thinking, like, geez, oh man, this guy, my legs feel like jello right now, and this guy's head is at the rim every 5 seconds. So that's something that I kind of remember about a practice.
Thanks, man.
Mike Schumann.
Yeah, Miller, a couple of weeks ago, Coach Woodson was talking about you on the defensive end. He said last year you made significant strides over the course of the season. Curious if you agree with his assessment. What do you think you improved on over the course of the year last year, and what do you still want to get better at on the defensive end?
Well, I'm definitely not going to disagree with that. I definitely feel that my defense is, was something that I really focused on last year and wanted to get a lot better at. On the ball and off the ball, I think are 2 different sides of defense that not many people necessarily realize. I felt like I was an anchor on defense for the team in terms of being a vocal leader and being a guy who knows where everybody is and supposed to be. So that was something that I definitely feel that I improved on, and it was a point of emphasis and focus for me throughout the year, and slowly improving and getting better and better. And then this year is I want to take another step. and improve. I feel like I've got my body in great shape, to be able to do that, and to be able to, guard, 1 through 4, 1 through 5 if needed. And so, I feel good about where I'm at with that, but also definitely want to improve and being pushed in that regard. Definitely.
Tyler Tackman.
Hey Miller, hope you're doing well. When we were talking to you at media day, you basically said that you truly know what your role is now on this team. What is your role?
My role is number one is to guard, is to defend and rebound. I think a lot of everybody has to do that on the team, but for me especially, I have to do that. Being on the wing, you got to be able to guard. Sometimes you have to switch off and play point guard. Sometimes you have to guard fours, especially at my size. I know I definitely can do that. So that's definitely, a part of my role. And another one is just, make shots, when they find me. I'm not a guy who's going to be coming off pick and rolls and, shooting, shots out of pick and roll and this and that. I definitely can do that, but, that's not my role on this team. We have other guys, who do that and do that at a high level. So for me is to, be opportunistic, when the ball finds me, make a play and shoot when I'm open. So pretty simple.
William McDermott.
Hey, Miller, thanks for your time. Comparatively to last year, a week or so into practice, is there something that stands out to you that feels different about, where you guys were this time last year at this point in the year to where you guys are this year?
Well, I think the biggest difference is just we know we've had a year under Coach Woody, being the head coach, obviously, and that's been huge for us just because we know what he wants. We know the schemes and defense and on offense, we're still improving on that end. And so, from last year to this year, at this point in the year and this point in the preseason, it's we've definitely made strides, and I can tell by looking back that, the guys, there's a better understanding of what we need to do and what we're asked to do. And so practices are a lot smoother. And now, coach can really get down to, the nitty gritty stuff of what he wants and what he expects from us. So it's definitely a lot, easier for guys to comprehend and do what he wants.
Dustin.
Hey Miller, just how do you expect the dynamic to change on the wing in terms of obviously the amount of guys you guys got? Some of us are new, like Caleb Banks. Tamar obviously seems like he's pushed for more minutes, and obviously Jordan seems like he's looking to play more 3. Just how's the dynamic changed on the wings in terms of the number of guys you got going there? Just how do you expect? Not to try to do Coach Woodson's job for him, but how do you think minutes will change? Do you think there's going to be a lot more rotation?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you that. I wish I had a great answer of how, the rotation would look or what it would, be. But, there's no hiding it. There's a lot of guys in the wing, myself being one of them. So, but I think also if you look at it, the guys on the wing are all a little bit different and all have a little bit different skill sets, going from Tamar to Trey Galloway to me to Caleb Banks to Geronimo to CJ Gunn to whoever else is out there or could be out there is, we all do something a little bit different. We all kind of add a different part to the game. And so, I don't know. I can tell you that the rotations or how the minutes will look. I think I wish I could tell you, but I just don't.
Jack.
Hey Miller, I guess with this being your 5th and final season of college, was there anything different about the way that you approached this off season, just in your, whether it be workouts or mentality wise, just heading into the season?
Yeah, it is my last year. It's weird to say. I'm talking to my younger brothers and I realize I'm like, dang, I'm a senior, not just a senior. I'm a 5th year senior, so I really should be gone. but I'm back again. And, really it's my mentality shifted to where, I want to win at the highest level. I've had the years at Northwestern where I was the guy who took the most shots, and then, but we didn't win. And I've had years where, my roles changed, where I've tried to get in the lineup as a freshman. And then last year where I kind of took a different route in terms of what was asked of me. And this year's the same. This year is not going to be, this year is going to be as different for me, that has my whole career. So really just coming into this season, I've had a lot of weight off my shoulders in terms of the expectations, because I know this is my last year. I'm going to make the most of every day. Coach Cliff has told me and the older guys that don't count the days, make the days count. So, that's really what I'm focusing on. And, in the off season, I worked my butt off and, got in great shape and, had a good time enjoying the off season with my dog and my puppy dog. And then got out on the golf course a little bit, practiced my swing, and just doing what I can, doing what I think is best.
Alec Lastly.
Hey Miller, hope you're doing well. Last year, typically the offense really only had one true ball handler on the floor with Xavier. This year now with Jalen coming in, how has that really impacted the offense with them playing alongside each other and kind of giving you guys maybe a couple more opportunistic looks from the perimeter in terms of not obviously having to force shots or kind of go seek out shots by yourself?
Yeah, having Jalen is having another ball handler. Guy who's, because I don't think it's just Xavier. I think, Trey did a good job last year of in spurts of handling the ball, and is definitely got a lot better in the offseason too. But I think having just more ball handlers and guys who can, run the offense in the way that Woody wants, and the way that kind of we see is the best way to do it for us. I think it's good. It definitely helps out guys in the wing and the bigs, especially too, where they don't have to, do as much with the ball in their hands. And those guys who are super skilled with the ball, like Jalen and, can just create and kind of let their skill and instinct take over.
Rick Bozich.
Yeah, hi Miller. You guys had a good year last year, but people are forecasting a better year for you this year as a team. From the outside, the analysis seems to be that what Indiana needs to do to take the next step is get better perimeter shooting and better, more contributions other than just Trace and Race and Xavier. From inside the team, what do you think the team needs to do to fulfill its potential?
Well, I think it's the little things. You saw our talent last year. I think our talent is what got us to the NCAA tournament. I think our talent is and our talent coming together at the same time is what got us, over the hump into the NCAA tournament, and gave us that run to do what we did in the Big Ten tournament. But inside the team, I think what really takes us to the next level is the little stuff. Is guys doing what they're asked to on defense, guys, having the right spacing so our offense can work better, guys going full speed in their cuts in offense when we're running offense, when, it gets down to the nitty gritty stuff on defense. We don't have any mental lapses. We lost so many games, so many close games last year, not because we just didn't shoot the ball well, or we didn't make as many threes as we could have. I think we lost close games because we made mental errors and mental lapses. And if you look at those games, it was because of those things, that we didn't do that built up and added up, and then we lost by a possession or two, or we lost by a last second shot, or whatever it may be. But I think that's really what puts us over the hump in terms of winning those games, and, not having, going from however many losses we had in the Big Ten, 9 or 10 or whatever it was, I don't even remember, to having, 2 or 1 or 3 or 0 or whatever it may be. Like that's the next step. And that's what is a tangible way for us to be able to do that.
Tyler.
Miller, you basically said like being a fifth year guy, someone that's been around college basketball a lot, like you kind of have a different perspective. I guess how is the Miller Kopp now different than the Miller Kopp who had just started his college career?
Miller Kopp now, or the Miller Kopp as a freshman at Northwestern coming in was, definitely, I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, no freshman does, coming into college basketball, especially in the Big Ten. So I was a guy who was just trying to get to learn as much as I could. I was trying to just retain and gain as much knowledge about the game, about our system, about different players, about different styles of play. I was just trying to retain and be a sponge and soak up as much knowledge as possible, and just play as hard as I could, and do exactly whatever was asked of me to be able to get on the court. And so now I feel like I have that knowledge. I have the IQ, the knowledge that I need that I was looking for and trying to figure out and trying to learn as a freshman. And so now it's about using that to my advantage, because the game is definitely slowed down. The game is, simplified to a enormous extent for me. And so, now it's about the team's mission, not just my personal mission to, try to just get on the floor like I was as a freshman. It's about the team's mission to, win a Big Ten title and national title. That's how my, the mindset has shifted. I talked earlier about how, I've gone through the phases of, my freshman year, I was just trying to get on the court, as any freshman is. My sophomore year, I was a leading scorer. My junior year, we were trying to make a push as a team to, make the next step. I transferred, trying to figure out my role here last year. And so, you go through phases throughout your career, and, not everyone is the same. It's a part of the story, and it's part of my story. And so, for me to expect every year to be like my freshman year, or every year to be like my sophomore year is naive for me, because it just means that I'm not growing. And so, just because my role or whatever it is looks different, or my goals or my focus looks a little different, doesn't mean that, or still means that I'm still the same guy and same dude, but it just, that's just the way that the cookie crumbles.
Emma.
Hey Miller, you're arguably one of the most experienced players on this team, especially just in terms of knowing how the rest of the Big Ten operates too. So I'm just curious how well you've been able to gauge where your freshmen stand in terms of, the conference and then college basketball as a whole, especially, Jalen and Malik, who have played together for a while and are top 25 prospects.
Yeah, no, that's well, first off, I believe I am the most experienced in terms of just games played. I think I played 122 games in college, most of the team. Fact check me on that, but I think that's correct. So with that being said, I have seen a lot of freshmen every year. There's more freshmen coming in, whether it was at Northwestern or here at Indiana. And the guys in this class are ready. I think they definitely are going to have some bumps in the road, just like everybody will. But they're definitely going to figure out how to impact the game, at their level and at the best level, and in the best way possible. And that's what I think Woody is going to get them to do, and realize is figure out, what they each guy is asked to do and individually. And they're going to be stars at that. So whatever that is, I'm not sure exactly what they're going to, do to the team, but I do know that they're definitely going to, be pieces for us.
Alec Lastly.
Hey Miller, so obviously you came into Indiana being known as a shooter. You talked about wanting to grow as an all-around player when you committed to Indiana and then through the transfer portal. When you look at what it takes to actually be known as a good shooter, what are maybe some of those 2 or 3 key aspects of the game or of your skill set that you really need to hone in on to be known as that quote unquote good shooter?
Well, I think that's a loaded question. I think it depends on. I mean, I think no one after my freshman year, no one thought I was. No one would have labeled me as a good shooter. Not because I didn't feel like I was a good shooter, but it's just not. I didn't do it as much. I just didn't shoot as much as a freshman. So my sophomore year, my numbers went up because my attempts went up, and so did my 3-point attempts, and so did my 3-point percentage. And so after that year and during that year, people kind of started to see me as a good shooter. Somebody who you can't leave open, somebody who you're. I've had coaches as I'm running down the court in transition, yell, "Don't leave him," and guys come right to my chest and just touch me because they got to find me in transition. So that's something that it comes with experience. It comes with I think time. Your first game of your career, you're probably not going to. No one really knows much about you, but over time you kind of build a resume and build a story about yourself, about being a good shooter, and guys respect it, and guys know that if they get too many open looks, they're going to go in. And so I think really it just comes down to respect about we don't want this guy to shoot because if he does, it has a better chance of going in than this guy. So we're gonna try to figure out how to stop this guy from shooting threes or whatever it may be. But I think a lot of it is your experience, how much time, how many games and you've had under your belt with that in mind. And then second one being just the building a resume with that kind of story, and then producing, and then shooting and making some shots.
Okay, we're going to finish up with Alex Bozich, then Jeff Rapjohns.
Miller, thanks for the time. We appreciate it as always. You've made a mention, I think last month at Media Day, you talked about it and you mentioned it again today, got yourself into better shape this offseason. Did you not feel like you were in the shape you needed to be last season? And maybe the second part of that is, what did you do differently maybe this offseason to get yourself physically where you want to be?
No, last year I felt good, but I didn't necessarily think that I was like, oh, I need to get in better shape. I need to get better shape. But it was definitely something on my mind to where, I had the opportunity and the time to kind of, sit back after the season, make a plan for myself, and then kind of adopt some new lifestyle choices, some habits that are really help me kind of get in really good shape, and things with my diet that I just simplified, and so it was that, and really just I think what helped me a lot, and it's maybe a little counterintuitive, is I took a step away from the game. I took a step away from the gym in terms of how early I would get back onto the floor, and was just more holistic in my health and wellness and physical approach to the season. And I think it's helped a lot. It's helped me be mentally clear and physically feel great. So just that kind of thing.
Jeff?
Hey, Miller, you guys got a pro day coming up with NBA scouts. 2 questions. What do you think about you doing that for you guys? And if you were a recruit, what would you think of a program having, a pro day where NBA scouts come in and they're going to come take a look at you?
Well, I think it's cool. I think it's really cool they're doing it. it shows that they're serious about, us getting to the next level. A lot of times I think some colleges are afraid and don't want to talk about, the NBA or anything like that because they may think it takes away from the focus of now and, the need and the want to win now. But I think it's our staff and Coach Woody and Scott Dolson, they're not afraid to swallow that pill about, guys want to come to college because they want to go pro. That's where I think the best players in the country in high school have aspirations and dreams and aspirations of going to NBA. And so guys in high school, I think we'll see that and see how serious this program is and the school is about getting guys to the league and having success here so you can have success at the next level. So Woody's a big proponent of obviously winning here, winning now, as you saw last year, and but he also knows that I think the landscape of college basketball is changing to where schools are no longer recruiting against against other schools. They're recruiting against other organizations that are trying to take colleges best players like the whatever Ignite teams or whatever they may be. It's just a part of the way the game's going. But I think it's great. I'm excited. I think the guys are excited, and I think recruits should be excited too.
Thanks, man.
Miller, thank you very much. One quick